What we're going to do is have a look at the crop tool. Now the crop tool is very simple to use and it'll help you streamline your workflow within Lightroom. Now the tool itself, it's located over in the right panel and it's that little rectangle with the dotted lines around it or the running ants. You simply click on that and it opens this panel for you. When you want to close it, just click back on it when you're done and it's finished, or you click back onto open. You can come down the bottom, press done when you're finished with your cropping as well, and it will reclose it. So let's open it up. Let's have a look at the image we're about to work on. Now the first thing you notice with this image, notice that it's got this grid line system across it. Well, they're overlays and they're to help you crop the image so that you can meet the things like the rules, the thirds, golden, mean, etc. If you press the O key on your keyboard, that actually stands for overlay, and that's what they are. And you can cycle through a number of overlays on the image. So Lightroom 4 offers you a whole variety, everything from the golden mean right down to grids to your rule of thirds. And this will definitely help you crop, because when you change that, these overlays will change with the actual crop size that you want. Another useful feature whilst we're here is simply pressing the X key, and that will change the image whether you want it rectangle or you want it in a portrait mode. So landscape or portrait, it will simply flick it around and change it for you in those options. So that's really handy. O for overlay to cycle through it, and X will actually rotate you from portrait to landscape mode. So over here we now have a heap of tools that we can look at, and what you need to be aware of is this first thing is this little lock that we have here. So when this lock is clicked here, basically it locks the restraint size of the image. So we can adjust it, but notice we can't pull it down. We can only keep it to the same proportion that the image has already been created in. Once you unclick that by clicking on it, then you can grab the sides, pull it in, make it narrow, and change things. So a lot of people initially don't unlock that, and therefore they can't actually change the restraints within the image. Now another really good feature is if you know you have to print to a certain size, for example a 5x7 or something similar to that, you can simply click over there and come down and find the 5x7, and it will just restrict it so that it's in there to that 5x7 size, and then you can change the image to work within that restraint. Come back and you just click on it again. You got all these different sizes, 1:1, different shapes, or you can come in, do a custom setting and create it for a particular size that you need to create it for. So that's very useful, but once that's selected, it's basically locked. So you've got to come back and unlock it, and that's what we're going to do, unlock it. So going through the rest of these tools here, basically a really good tool is across the top here, we can click on that and we can just come in and change to whatever size we want with our aspects. So by clicking that tool, you can come through, change what you want, grab the little tabs, drag it to whatever size you want the image to be. It's very simple. And notice that the rule of thirds that I'm using here is changing with the image. So if I want to sort of set this up, try and get that head in that rule of thirds, I can pull that down, drag it across. There you go, got it where it should be. Oh, the image doesn't look right. I've cut half the horse out. So, but once again, it's just a reference tool, and it's going to help you try and be a bit more creative with your shots. So that's that tool there, very simple to use. You just have to click on it and you're into it. This next tool here is very, very handy. It's your angle tool. Right here, and what you can do is grab the slider if you want and simply move. Now notice my horizon down the bottom there in the original shot is crooked. So you can just move this slider, slide him across and try and straighten the shot up. Notice that we're staying within the image, and that's one of the beauties of this crop tool. It'll keep you restrained within the photograph and not take you outside it. And that's what that restraint to warp will do, especially if you have that ticked as well. It'll definitely keep you inside the image. So you can do that with the angles, not always easy to get it right. So what I tend to do is I'll just quickly drop this back up here. And at any time you want to reset this back, there's a little reset button down here that you can click on, and basically it resets it. But if you click on this ruler here, this ruler is very handy, because what I'm going to do is click on it, come across, and if I left click on one side and I drag it across, because there's my horizon in the background, across to the other, let it go, and it will straighten that image up for me straight away. So I'm in a bit of trouble with this one because I'm cutting part of the horse's head out and chopping a lot of the child's head out. So I might not be able to work that way. But, it gives you options to go through and use those tools. So it's a very simple tool. When you finish, just press done, and there you go. It'll automatically crop. Now remember, if you want to reset at any stage, you can simply come back to the tool here, hit the reset button here, or remember you've got this history over the side that you can come down, you can see everything you've done here, it keeps a record of it, and you can simply come back and just keep going back through actions and change things. So the crop tool, very easy to use.